She was the girl who missed her flight and landed in the hearts of Australians.
Tanika, do you know anything about Phoebe's disappearance?
In the sleepy town of Gin, Queensland, a 17-year-old girl named Pheobe Bishop lit up every room with her sassy smile and untamed spirit. She was a dreamer, chasing music, photography, and a love that stretched across Australia. But on May 15, 2025, Pheobe vanished without a trace. Her dreams snuffed out in an instant. Her family's desperate pleas and a community's tireless search would unravel a mystery that gripped a nation. This is the story of Pheobe Bishop, a girl who stole hearts and a case that broke them. What happened to her? Let's find out. Pheobe Bishop wasn't just another teenager in Gin, a tiny Queensland town of 1,100 souls, nestled 50 kilometers west of Bundaberg. At 17, she stood tall at 5'11", her long dyed red hair flowing like a fiery banner, her hazel eyes sparkling with defiance and dreams. Her mother, Kylie Johnson, called her a wild gypsy banshee, a nickname that captured Phoebe's untamed heart. She was sassy, strong-willed, and fiercely her own person, dancing to music only she could hear, whether it was blasting through her earbuds or echoing in the fields she loved to roam. Phoebe's world was one of passion and possibility. She adored the outdoors, losing herself in Queensland's rugged beauty. Her Canon camera, a $1,000 gift from her boyfriend Levi, always in hand, capturing moments others might miss. She'd snap photos of sunsets, wildflowers, or her sister Kalia's goofy grin, dreaming of a future where her lens told stories. Music was her heartbeat, from soulful ballads to upbeat anthems, and she'd sing along with a voice that could make you stop and listen. Phoebe wasn't perfect, she was stubborn, a little rebellious, but that's what made her unforgettable. In Gin, life wasn't always easy. Phoebe lived in a derelict house, a crumbling relic of better days, with two housemates, James Wood, a 34-year-old with a quiet demeanor, and Tanika Bromley, 33, who'd once worked for Phoebe's mother before losing her job in 2024. The house was chaotic, cluttered with mismatched furniture and peeling paint, but Phoebe made it home. She'd sprawl on the couch, planning her next adventure, her laughter filling the space. Her housemates were an odd fit, but Phoebe, ever trusting, saw the good in them, maybe too much. Her heart, though, was 3,000 kilometers away in Perth, Western Australia, with Levi, her 18-year-old boyfriend. They'd met in high school, their connection instant and unshakable. Hours of video calls, late-night texts, and shared dreams kept them close. Levi, smitten, had saved up to buy Phoebe that Canon camera, fueling her love for photography. They planned a camping trip on WA's south coast, a chance to explore, laugh, and just be together. Phoebe couldn't stop talking about it, her eyes lighting up as she packed her bags. She was counting down the days to May 15, 2025, when she'd board a flight from Bundaberg to Brisbane, then Perth, to fall into Levi's arms. The morning of May 15 started like any other, but it was electric with anticipation. Phoebe was up early, her suitcase stuffed with clothes and her camera slung over her shoulder. She called Levi at 8:30 a.m., her voice bubbling with excitement. "I'm almost there," she told him, promising to text when she landed. James and Tanika offered to drive her to Bundaberg Regional Airport in their grey Hyundai iX35, license plate 414EW3. It was a short trip, just a few kilometers, but Phoebe was restless. According to James, she was emotional, maybe nervous about the journey. She asked to stop the car less than a kilometer from the airport to touch up her makeup. They pulled over, and James and Tanika stepped out to give her space. 5 minutes, they said, just 5 minutes. When they returned, the car was empty. Phoebe was gone. Her suitcase, her phone, her dreams, all vanished. James claimed they searched for her, thinking she'd walked to the terminal. But something didn't add up. Phoebe, who never went quiet, who always texted Levi or called her mom, had fallen silent. Her phone, active at 8:30 a.m., was switched off. No check-in at the airport, no boarding pass, no Phoebe. Her family's world began to crack, and a chilling question took hold. Where was she? The answer would tear Gin apart. Phoebe Bishop's disappearance hit Gin like a thunderbolt. By May 16, her mother Kylie Johnson was frantic. "Phoebe, please come home." She posted on social media, her words a raw plea that echoed through the town. Pheobe wasn't the type to vanish. She was glued to her phone, always texting Levi, calling her sister Kalia, or sending her mom silly photos. Her silence was a scream that something was wrong. Queensland police launched a missing person alert, plastering Pheobe's face, that radiant smile, those hazel eyes, across the White Bay region. Over 400 posters went up, each one a desperate cry for answers. The community rallied, their hearts breaking for the girl they knew as a whirlwind of energy. Neighbors scoured streets, shopkeepers checked CCTV, and friends shared memories of Pheobe's laughter. But as hope flickered, the police investigation took a darker turn. On May 21st, Detective Acting Inspector Ryan Thompson faced the cameras, his voice steady but grave. "People don't vanish," he said. "Someone knows something." Those words sent a chill through Jinjin. Pheobe's disappearance was now suspicious, and the clues were starting to point to the place she called home. The derelict house on Mulgrave Street became a crime scene. Forensic teams swarmed, their gloved hands sifting through Pheobe's life, her clothes, her camera, her dreams. They found a shortened firearm, ammunition, and 2 replica handguns, leading to charges against James Wood and Tanika Bromley, but nothing tied directly to Pheobe. Yet, the grey Hyundai i35, the car that carried her to the airport, was also sealed off. Police begged for dashcam footage from Airport Drive and Samuels Road, hoping to trace its path. Every detail mattered, every second a potential key to finding her. Then, on May 23rd, the search shifted to Goodnight Scrub National Park, an hour southwest of Bundaberg. Picture it, dense tangled bushland, where shadows swallow the light and every step feels like a gamble. Cadaver dogs sniffed through the undergrowth, their handlers tense. Water police scanned creeks, drones buzzed overhead, and SES volunteers combed the unforgiving terrain. For 5 days they searched, finding items that hinted at answers but revealed nothing concrete. On June 4th, the search paused, leaving a void of silence. Phoebe's family clung to hope, but it was fraying. Kylie Johnson stood before the world on May 31st, her voice trembling but fierce. "This is a pain no person or family should ever have to experience," she said, clutching a photo of Phoebe. She was a beautiful, loving, kind person, and every day not knowing where she has been is devastating. She spoke of the worst-case scenario, a mother's heart preparing for the unthinkable, yet she begged for answers, even if it meant knowing where Phoebe was resting. Her words cut deep, a raw wound shared by all who heard them.
I still hold hope that Phoebe will come home, but I have to consider the possibility that she also won't.
In Kolan Community Park, the community gathered for a candlelit vigil. They wore bright colors and butterfly pins, symbols of Phoebe's free spirit. Candles flickered in the dusk, each flame a prayer for her return. Kalia, Phoebe's sister, stood among them, her eyes red but resolute. "We were going to live together," she whispered to a friend, her voice breaking. "She was my everything." The vigil was a moment of unity, but it couldn't fill the hole Phoebe left. Where was she? The answer was closer than anyone dared to believe, and it would shatter everything. June 4, 2025 brought a flicker of movement. Police hauled James Wood in for questioning, his face pale, his story unraveling, but they let him go. The truth still out of reach. Then on June 5th, the case exploded. James Wood and Tanika Bromley were arrested, their wrists cuffed as police charged them with the unthinkable. 1 count each of murder and 2 counts each of interfering with a corpse. A third person, Mr. Mittelhäuser, was nabbed for allegedly tampering with Phoebe's phone to throw investigators off, plus unrelated charges. The news hit Gingin like a tidal wave. Murder, Phoebe, the girl who danced through life, was gone. Detective Inspector Craig Mansfield dropped a bombshell. All 3 were in the Hyundai that morning on Airport Drive, not just Wood and Bromley as they'd claimed. Phoebe wasn't left alone to do her makeup. The story was a lie, and the Hyundai's number plate, altered with paint and tape, screamed deception. Police believed Phoebe was killed shortly after her last call to Levi at 8:30 a.m. on May 15th. Her body, they alleged, was moved twice, once that day and again on May 17th. The details were chilling, the betrayal unthinkable. Had Phoebe trusted the wrong people? The next day, June 6, brought the moment no one wanted but everyone feared. At 2:30 p.m., police found human remains near Goodnight Scrub National Park, 9 kilometers from the earlier search. A family tracking app on Pheobe's phone, shared with her mother, had guided them to the spot. The discovery was a knife to the heart. Kylie Johnson poured her grief onto Facebook. "I didn't think my heart could break any more than it did when you went missing, or when the charges were laid, but this is ripping me apart." She thanked the community, her words raw with pain, and vowed to honor Pheobe with a memorial convoy through Gingin, celebrating her love for cars and the open road. Wood and Bromley faced court that day, their faces blank, no pleas entered. The town watched, stunned, as the reality sank in. Phoebe's luggage and phone were still missing, pieces of the puzzle yet to be found. But the remains, they felt like the end of hope. On June 17th, Queensland police confirmed what everyone dreaded: the remains were Pheobe Bishop's. Bundaberg Mayor Helen Blackburn spoke softly to the press. "This allows the family to lay her to rest in a respectful manner." But rest felt far away for those who loved her. The community grieved as one. Flowers, notes, and butterflies piled up along Airport Drive, a silent tribute to a girl who touched so many lives. The memorial convoy rolled through Gingin, cars decked in bright ribbons, a bittersweet celebration of Phoebe's spirit. Kylie, Kalia, and Levi clung to memories, her laugh, her stubborn streak, her dreams of a life beyond the horizon. Wood and Bromley's court cases were adjourned to August 11, 2025, leaving questions unanswered. What drove them to this? Why Phoebe? The truth was still unfolding, but one thing was clear: her light would never fade. Pheobe Bishop was more than a headline. She was a daughter, a sister, a dreamer who loved fiercely and lived boldly. Her story is a wound that won't heal, a reminder of how fragile life can be. In Gingin, her name lives on. In the posters, the vigils, the heart she touched. As the fight for justice continues, her family holds tight to her memory, and a town stands with them, forever changed. Phoebe Bishop's light lives on, a spark in the hearts she touched, her dreams, her laughter, stolen but never forgotten. You can keep her story alive. Like, comment, subscribe, and share this video to spread Phoebe's name. Don't let Phoebe fade. Engage now, share her story, and help us fight for truth. For Phoebe, act today. Her legacy depends on you.